Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a really quick video regarding this news that came around a week ago. Supposedly, Google Drive now will make it even more cumbersome for people to access public files. It says that starting on September 23rd, now people will need a resource key to access any publicly shared link. So I believe that this is not going to basically change for anyone who has already access to files, but for anyone coming new to a game, it's definitely going to be more annoying moving forward. And that ties into some changes that were made at the beginning of July, where they will be deleting people's unused files for, I believe, a period of 2 years or so. First of all, I also wanted to thanks to Ship for bringing this news. He's very much on top of what's going on with Google Docs. So the point that I wanted to get across is that with Strive, I thought that people were going to be using the Dustloop wiki a lot more often, which is actually the case. Dustloop has been getting a lot of traffic lately. If you check at the recent changes pages, it's just everyone pouring a lot of information to Guilty Gear Strives, and it's honestly really great. But I just wanted to raise awareness that we should still do a little bit more with regards to other resources that might or might not be available to newer players, not just during the release window for Stripe, but like moving forwards a few years down the line. So what do I mean by that? Well, there was like this phase of the FGC at the very beginning where a lot of the stuff was on GameFAQs. And this is one of my favorite guides, the Samurai Showdown 2 guide that has ASCII notation. As you see, like there was nothing like numpad notation, so they had like these little pictures in ASCII for like the moves and stuff. But this is a guide again. Well, it looks kind of funny now. This was written in 1994, and the year is 2021, and I can still read the information that this person wrote back in the day about this game. Then moving forward, we started seeing the focus change to Shoryuken, and I'm using here the infamous 98 Yori page. And while everyone like fixes on the the funny stop using sweep gif, it actually has a lot of solid info. He has his frame data and some key frames for his moves. So, and again, this is information that was written. If I check the history tab here, if I check the oldest edits, this was set up in 2007. And again, the year is 2021, and I can see all of this information that was, piled up over a course of a decade. But now we live in a time where a lot of the information for the newer games is hosted on YouTube, hosted on guides. And I believe that we have made some really big strides in changing that and making people use wikis again. But kind of like, what's the problem that we're facing today? So I know that Yoshi made a Anji guide recently. If I search for this, usually the first hits that I get are from big sites like YouTube or Reddit, or even this like appcomment.com. I have never heard of them before, but I basically had to type like Easy Yoshi's name directly to get a hit on his guide. And I don't expect newer players to Guilty Gear Strive to know players' names or whatnot. And another good example is like, I think that one of the most famous group of docs that were made by the community for a game was the Under Night character primers. I believe that when Unist dropped, they spent quite a few months putting this together. But then if I search for them, there's no way to find them because Google Docs doesn't have any indexing. Like I click here and it takes me to Reddit. And then on Reddit, I actually find a link to these character primers. So there you go. And then, I don't know, if I looked for it in a more specific way, I guess, maybe they would pop up. You see, I'm taking once again to Twitter now, where the primers are linked, or Reddit once again. But the point is, I don't get a direct link to this. Google Docs do not have any indexing whatsoever. And looking for stuff right now, you're still going to get hits to Reddit or Twitter. But then imagine someone wanting to learn Strive 5 or 10 years from now. Will they have this kind of same links fed to them by the algorithm? Maybe yes, maybe not. And that's kind of like what we would like to avoid by putting stuff on wikis, just like how the SRK wiki pop up when I search for 98 Iori guide. Similar thing here. I think this is sort of like the testament of how much the community has worked. Now that I type Guilty Gear Strive files guide, and one of the first page hits is the Dustloop wiki. And even if it's not like the strategy page, the fact that, they have to compete against the big sites and some, esports stuff, it's good. And I'm really happy actually that this is the case. A few years back, it was not at all. So now, for example, I get a hit here to the Dustloop wiki, and I get some really nice compos for Faust. So shout out to probably Krakatoa and the other people who wrote this together. Yeah, there's a bunch of volunteers here who have contributed. So good stuff. So the point that I'm trying to make is that basically people should still use whatever tools suit them best to share the information that they want to get across, be it YouTube, be it Google Docs or whatnot. But I wish that we had kind of like the wikis as the repositories or like the central hubs for all of that info. If I take a peep at the chip strategy page here, for example, you'd get a lot of like stuff that is written, but also links to Twitter or links to, there were some YouTube, I believe, some docs or YouTube videos. The thing that I want to emphasize is that we need redundancy. We need many places that hold links to a lot of resources. Hopefully this can be the centralized ones, the wikis, because they're editable by anyone. Because with Google making it increasingly hard to archive all of this info. For example, like here when I have this general advice versus Madoc, it takes me to this guide by Tempest, I think he made it. So it's kind of like a straightforward guide, but it's very personal. Like it's kind of like in a Q&A format where I believe that Tempest is giving his own opinion of the character. And it's honestly fair if you don't want to put such kind of like a personal document up there for anyone to edit. But I also wanted to offer a bit of an alternative to this, because most of the wikis like Shoryuken here, for example, in this little tab, or Dustloop here, they have what it's called user pages. And on the user pages is also like a place there where you can just write and put any info that you want. The only thing that you need to learn is just like the regular markup. So for headings, you just use like this double equal signs. For bolded text is to apostrophes, you could say. But it's not really that hard to learn. And especially if you have like this kind of like, rich editor, you would call it, where you can just like type text and then you can just add stuff. Oh, actually, never mind. This is italic text. This is bolded text with the 3 apostrophes. But anyway, it would be nice if more people, players, and anyone who wants to contribute use this space as kind of like as a personal place to like store their own tech or their own opinion on things. I stumbled upon this user page by Commander-in-Chief where they had recently written a really good DVFC guide for team building. And while it's actually really great, unfortunately, they do suffer from the same problem with the algorithm that wikis, I believe, they're usually leading to like the main pages, not to the user pages. That's something that like us wiki admins definitely should improve upon. But like I guess that the point of this video was just for people to highlight that these user pages exist, and the fact that Google's rules are changing by the day. Even if right now, for example, we were told that the files were going to be lasting 2 years, now they're saying that they're going to be needing this resource key to be accessed. And what happens, next month when they say, you also need to have explicit permission from the file's owner. So putting any kind of long-term resource in the hands of these corporations that don't care about preservation of information whatsoever, it's not the way to move forward, in my opinion. We should always try to highlight these resources from the community, made by the community. If you have any questions, just drop them on the video's comments, so that if you don't know how to even get an account or set these things up, I'm also going to leave some links to the Discords where these resources are coordinated. So I guess I'm getting a phone call, but I don't want to start this video over, so I'm going to leave you guys here. Thanks for watching.